we gon' make it, baby. Everything's gonna be alright. Just we gon' make it, baby. Everything's gonna be alright.
Hey, welcome to the Working People's Pod on the Outer Sandtrap Podcast Network. I am your host, Rock, spelled R-A-Q, pronounced R-O-C, and my co-host.
I am the great Des Dillinger, baby. And today we have a special guest, my lovely wife, Renee.
Hello.
Hey, girl.
Hey, Renee. And of course, we got our producer Izzl in the background, in the black screen background. We do invite you to like, share, and subscribe. Visit our website at outofthesandtrap.com and our merch shop. And please share with all your friends. And, you know, we're on Spotify and iHeart and Apple and everywhere you get your podcasts. So please check us out. So today we're going to actually do a start a series, a relationship series. And this will be part 1. And we're going to be talking about how to maintain some longevity since Des and Renee have been together for how long?
13 years.
Longer?
Well, we've been married 13.
Nah, I know it's been longer than 13 years.
I'm about to say, I was like 13 when
I
I
said,
met
you got an adult children, so I know it's been years. Yeah, so we're going to talk to them about how, you know, how to stick and stay and ups and downs generally, not personally, but generally in relationships. And but before we do that, we need to get into our usual topics. So we're going to hit it up with some mainstream news is a joke. One of the bigger stories that happened closer to the end of the week was we avoided apparently a government shutdown because Senator Chuck Schumer, who is the minority leader in the Senate, decided that he didn't want the government to shut down, that would cause more harm than good. I've been hearing a lot of different opinions on whether or not that was a good thing or not. But one opinion that I've been hearing is we should let it shut down, let the Republicans take responsibility for it,
I disagree.
and stop the bleeding, or them basically pillaging the government. The other opinion is you can't let the government shut down; it'll hurt a lot of people. You know,
I think
those
Schumer
type
was
of-
right. I'm
You think Schumer
totally
was
on
right?
Schumer. Like, it's a lot worse they can do once the government shuts down. At least as long as it's functioning, you can put some fight into it. So I don't have a problem with what he did. Now, I had a problem with Fetterman. Yeah, Fetterman.
Yeah, your guy, your senator.
Yeah, I know. I can't stand that dude. He gonna vote with Trump anyway, and I forgot got the other the other 7 that agreed with it, but I agree with Chuck Schumer's reason. I don't know anybody else.
Why do you think it's worse though?
Well, if it shuts down, they have it's basically the government's not functioning now. If they shut it down, that means they got free reign to do whatever they want. They ain't got to go through Congress, Senate, nothing else. They can just do whatever they want. Government workers, they can rehire whoever they want, do everything they want to do.
No, they can't.
No, they can't.
But that's not necessarily true. They can't really make certain moves if there's a shutdown.
So if the government shuts down, all government employees, those who are affected, they get what they call, furlough. So they're not supposed to be working at all. But 9 times out of 10, there's unions in place with federal employees that are going to fight in the background to make sure that if it is a government shutdown, y'all aren't hiring new people and getting scabs. And that's one thing about a government shutdown, that you wouldn't be able to hire new people. You just have to wait until the government decides to open up again.
Yeah, but if they say shut down, can't they do whatever Trump and Elon do whatever they want though? They're gonna make
So they're
rules.
doing it. They're doing whatever they want now, and I think that's one of the arguments I've been hearing a
Right.
lot. They're already doing the thing that you say you're going to try to prevent by not shutting the government down. So you're not
Right.
really stopping anything from happening. They're doing the thing. Now, if your government shuts down, of course, you stop them from being able to continue to rape and pillage the government and steal all the funds, like they're doing right now. But again, there's also the argument that federal workers, some of them will be working with no money, and then some of them won't be working at all. So there's that side of it, and as working people, I think we all know what it's like to have to kind of depend on a paycheck to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But is that a sacrifice that we got to make right now?
Yeah, because at that point you get into the conversation of greater good and
Yeah.
bigger picture type stuff. That's the same thing that people go through with boycotting or striking. Okay, yes, it's gonna hurt in the short term, but in the long term, will it be better?
Those two, yeah. The another thing about a government shutdown, and I guess I'm just speaking from a perspective of working in like human services. People, our most vulnerable citizens, would be without what they need, what they rely on the government for, whether they, earned it or maybe they're disabled. And those federal funds, when the government shuts down, the money goes with it. So that's that's my biggest concern. And I'm pretty sure we all know, someone who has who receives benefits from the federal government, that it would impact greatly, and what is going to be the domino effect of that, and how long is the government going to be shut down, where we would actually see like a really bad impact. Because to me, I mean, it's already bad now, but I just don't see how some people would be able to manage through that.
And that's a fair and very real concern, but then we also have to weigh it against the knowledge that may be happening anyway.
Right.
So, and that when that happens, that'll be on a more permanent basis.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking, okay, maybe a few months or a few weeks of not having these benefits and having to struggle through figuring it out, versus certain people getting what they want, and then in the long term you don't have it at all for
Yeah.
the foreseeable future period.
Right.
So I mean, I'm not saying that either one is right or wrong. It's kind of just you choosing which evil you think will work out in the long run.
Right. I mean, I just like during COVID, when there were like food pantries that were really, stocking up, because they knew that there were going to be a lot of people out of work, a lot of kids who usually go to school to get their meals, making sure that they were covered. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I understand the long term effect. Like right now, it's like putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound. Like it's not going to heal. It's going to keep bleeding. You're going to have to take the band-aid off, and the mess is going to be bigger than what it was before you put the band-aid on. But if there was a way for us, the American people, to be able to brace that, but that has a lot to do with how people are treating each other and talking to each other and communicating with each other about an imminent government shutdown, and how we can support each other during that time. But we never do, because, it's so many things that it's like a deep divide, that we won't even come together and actually talk about, hey, like these are the basic physiological needs that we all need to be met. What are we going to do if we don't have access to those things, that how we normally have them, if something like a government shutdown happens? It's just, everybody's for self sometimes. And so that's really my biggest concern, is everybody working together. COVID brought people together. People were, what I'm saying, finding themselves in situations where, they had never been as vulnerable. But this time, this is based off of who got elected in office, people not believing what they were seeing before, this president got elected. But now it's, everybody scrambling around trying to figure out what, what I'm saying, how we're going to do this, how we're going to navigate it. So I'm interested in seeing how this is going to play out.
That was very insightful.
So I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, honestly. I listen to a lot of talk radio, and listening to people call in, and I will say, to be honest, I want to say 80 to 90% of the people that called in, and when I say a lot of talk radio, I mean a lot of talk radio, 90%, 80 to 90% of those people are saying shut it down. And their reasoning is, if the Democrats don't do something, if they don't stop working with the Republicans, none of this is ever going to get fixed.
Mhm.
And I mean, I do agree with that. However, also heard Don Calloway, he's a lobbyist and a political analyst. He was saying that he didn't want a government shutdown because if the government shuts down, then there's no one watching what the Republicans are doing. And
Mm.
so I guess the fear is that they can do more.
That's what I was kind of agreeing with when he said they can do more behind closed doors.
But see, the only thing is I don't know about that, because it's not like everybody's watching them right now.
Mhm.
And it's not stopping them from doing anything. Do you know what I'm saying?
right.
That's
And
kind of
they're
my
taking
issue with it.
bold moves. Bold
Yeah,
moves.
exactly. It's not like it's stopping them because we're all watching it happen. You
Mhm.
know, they're not saying, oh, they're looking at us, so hey, we better not put this money in our back pocket. You know, they're still doing it. You know,
Mhm.
my biggest concern though is definitely the people, the actual people who depend on benefits from the government, who depend on a paycheck from the government in whatever form that comes in. That is concerning to me. So for that reason, I still wouldn't have an opinion. I don't necessarily have an opinion one way or the other. I'm still kind of stuck in the middle. So I'm kind of glad I don't have to take that vote.
Mhm.
But I do believe the Democrats need to take a stand. I do think they shouldn't vote for anything.
Just like that address that Trump gave, what was that, the week before last? All the
Mm-hmm.
Democrats have walked out. It shouldn't have just
Right.
been what's his name? Representative Green.
Al Green.
Al Green.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stay together. That's how I remember his name.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing when.
Yeah, it's a rumor that people voted for him because they actually thought he was actually the singer, Al Green.
No, that can't be true.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah,
No.
people did. But yeah, I agree with you, Renee. Like now, I do know for a fact that they did other things. More Democrats walked out than we're aware of, and they did other things to protest. But I agree. Like when he left, they all should have left. They all should have left.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that would have been a sign of solidarity amongst Democrats. Maybe it would have sent a strong message to the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know I know they had the signs and they were holding them up. Some people ain't paying attention to them signs.
No, and it would have been more noticeable if everybody rolled out the same time. It would have been instead of the camera panning off the people leaving,
Mm-hmm.
and just people sitting down. They've been more noticeable. You pan that side and ain't nobody there.
Also, there ain't really no solidarity amongst the parties.
That's true.
Some of them niggas that's claiming Democrat, they ain't really Democrats. They just
Fetterman.
over there because it benefits them to be Democrat or to say they're Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a bait and switch. It's like I'll run it as a Democrat because I know I can win as a Democrat, but then I'm going to have all of these conservative, policies once I get in there, like Joe Manchin did, and apparently your boy John Fetterman did the same thing. Is doing the same thing.
We seen enough scandal and all that to know these backdoor deals definitely be happening.
Exactly.
So, all that expecting solidarity, whatever. I mean, it sounds good, but
scandal.
it ain't. What?
Yeah, he said scandal.
Bro, what? If you think scandal ain't rooted in reality, bro, that's scandal damn near a documentary, boy.
Not a documentary.
Scandal is a documentary.
Yo, may I add something real quick? I just noticed Ed's been real vocal this week. I mean, I'm proud of you. I'm happy and everything. I'm just saying, I know you've been real vocal. Good for you.
Don't be proud of me. Don't be proud of me on air, dog.
All right. So, another thing that happened, the mayor of DC decided to capitulate and have the Black Lives Matter mural that was on the street removed. And they did it with a jackhammer. And we do have a clip of that. So we're going to play that. And
they really used the jackhammer.
And the thing is, her argument was, Muriel Bowser was, well, they were supposed to, if she did this, they were supposed to give some funding to DC for whatever. They ain't giving DC nothing. They won't even give DC statehood. Do you know what I'm saying? So giving in advance never works. It's never going to work.
At this point, I think everybody just gave up. I don't think there's nobody fighting back no more.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah, all that shit is because everybody kissing the ring, man.
That's exactly what's going on. You know, I mean, they could have painted over the mural, but they used the jackhammer, so they were literally trying to send us a message.
Bro, you didn't have to remove the actual street, bro.
Right.
Exactly. And to be honest, think about how much more that would cost than to just take some paint.
Like, nigga, the street was perfectly fine. It wasn't a blemish or it wasn't a pothole in sight. And y'all created potholes just to remove some letters on the surface. It was paint, dog.
Yeah. I think they're sending us, I don't know, they're trying to send us a message. You know what I'm saying? It's like, not only do your black lives not matter, but your black asses don't matter because we about to tear this road up. Come cross if you want to. You're next.
It's like when somebody start walking away and the nigga like run up and kick them in their ass.
Right.
That's exactly what Black Lives Matter shit.
Right. Exactly. But it's like it's so sad, man. Go ahead, Renee. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's what we do here.
That of them removing the Black Lives Matter, that painting off the street. To me, that shows just how temp was. It was just, once again, it was a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Oh, let's do this. And because you seen this started to pop up after George Floyd died, and all the things that ensued afterwards. This was, all right, we need these Black folk to hush up. We need them to stop tearing our stores down. We need them to stop being mad. This is what we're going to have to do, this, that, and the third. So for me, it was surface level. It wasn't a change of mind and it wasn't a change of hearts. You know, a lot of people in this country view affirmative action and DEI, and this is to go along with the whole Black Lives Matter. They don't look at it for what it is, which when it was designed as a tool. It was designed as a tool to fix the broken or to either dismantle what was not serving this country. And some people felt threatened by it. And especially with the whole push with, you know, the DEI initiatives, and you see a lot of these companies hiring directors of DEI and liaisons and things like that. To me, it was so easy to put out there, which should have been done years ago, but it was so easy to take it back. And for me, I kind of feel like if that's how y'all really feel about making sure that everybody's included in this country and how we do things and the policies that are written and the legislation that gets put into place, that's where it's permanent. All that show and outside and Target, you know, they was the first ones to hop on the DEI. And as soon as they was like, oh, you don't need to, they was pulling stuff off shelves and stopping things. And I'm glad that Black folks actually followed through and stopped shopping at Target because of that. It's 2025 and Black folks, we've been getting jerked around long enough. And now it's time to hit people in the pocket. So it won't be so temporary like the DEI. I hope it comes back. I hope there are some truth speakers and truth tellers that will still stand up, because see, we wouldn't need DEI and affirmative action if we were already treating each other fairly and equitably. We wouldn't need
that's the part. That's the part. This was all surface level from the beginning, because from 2020, the summer of George Floyd, to 2025, that was the window. That was the window of, we gonna do the best we can to make everybody feel like they belong. And to be honest, the companies that were already doing, some companies were already doing that. I can honestly say, you know, for example, Verizon was always an inclusive company before 2020. You know, Black Lives Matter, before people made DI bad phrase. Some companies were already doing it, and those companies are going to continue to do it.
Right.
The companies that jumped on the bandwagon from 2020 to 2025 Now they like, all right, whew, I'm glad we ain't got to do this no more. We gotta go. Got 6-figure jobs in here for a DEI administrator, the DEI. I don't know, whatever they call them. I don't even know what they call them. But like,
They said, "All right, nigga, where the jackhammer at?"
yeah, like we done created a whole job for this. And so they're getting off the bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? Because it was always a short window. It was always going to be a short window. But those things needed to be in place regardless. And we
Right.
needed policy to keep them in place. And if honestly, if a tweet or whatever he does on that other platform he has, if that can make a company change their whole policy, you went for it in the first place.
Right.
You haven't been down for it. So now
Right.
we know.
Just waiting for a reason.
Yeah. But that's
Mhm.
another reason why we need to really start focusing on community. Like you were saying before, like we need to start caring about each other and learning how to work as a community. Because I promise you that everything we need, if we came together as a community, we would have it. You don't necessarily need to shop at some of these big box stores and things like that. You don't necessarily need to go to Amazon. We do it because it's convenient. We used to
Right.
do it because it was cheap and convenient. It ain't cheap no more, but it's still convenient sometimes. Because sometimes you get your package now when you're supposed to get it. But we don't have to do those things. We're giving into the convenience of it. In my opinion, has been kind of one of the things that's been keeping us down for so long. With every other thing that's going on in our community, that wanting and needing to have things convenient has been a problem for us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that window has closed. So bye bye
No, but that
DEI,
should be
bye
like
bye
right.
affirmative action.
That should be right to your doorstep though, like right there.
It does. You know they
No,
got the drones too, but guess
the door is right
I
there.
bet if that drone come to your door, you're gonna be wondering what else they're taking pictures of with that drone. What else you
Yeah.
doing with that drone other than dropping my package off? You know
Well,
what I'm
I
saying?
would say this. They put a drone in my front door. I got a camera and something else waiting for them. How about that? And then y'all see what y'all want to see.
Tell him, Mrs.
Music
Dillinger.
suggests, I guess.
We
Tell him,
we
Mrs.
got
Dillinger.
we got to fight fire with fire. We
That is
know what
very
we're
true.
up against. And yeah, we turned these companies, Amazon, Target, Walmart, we have turned these stores into, I mean, giants.
Houses,
And
political
so,
powerhouses at that.
if everybody could understand, like, hey, we're the ones that made these companies what they are today, we can dismantle them by doing really easy steps. Then I think more people would buy into it and kind of, exercise and do some things differently, maybe. For some people, it's hard to, make a change, a big change, and it lasts, it's sustainable. But little by little, I feel like, you know, just like once again with Target, I didn't believe that Black folk was going to stay out of Target, but when I started seeing the numbers and this the I guess the price of their stocks were going down, I was like, oh okay,
Yeah.
that's what it's
Yeah.
come down to now, the economic power.
It can, I mean, and it can be done. And I guess I'm gonna give a plug to buyfromablackwoman.com. So Nikki Porche, she actually, I think this past year, she committed to only buying from Black people everything that she needed. I'm talking about everything, household goods, everything, all of her stuff. She does the website Buy from a Black Woman. It does focus on Black women who own businesses and being able to support them. But the fact that she was able to do that for a year tells me that we can get everything we need within our own communities without supporting. But we want the convenience of it being here in 2 days, or maybe today. If we're lucky, we might get it. We spend enough, we might get it later today. You know what I'm saying? We want that convenience, but at the same time, what are we sacrificing for it? Because
Right.
Jeff Bezos don't care nothing about you. You know what I'm saying? The Walton family, they don't care nothing about you. Clearly, Elon Musk don't care nothing about you.
Oh, that's better
Zuckerberg
known.
don't care. So we give up a lot for the convenience of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Moving on. So also some of the federal judges decided they were going to not decided. They made an order. They made a decision to reinstate federal workers that were fired by the Department of
Move.
Government Efficiency. That is not really a thing, but somehow it became a thing. The judge ordered several of the departments to rehire the people they fired because they didn't have grounds for it. Now they'll probably end up being fired again, to be honest.
And they
But
gonna
at
find
least
you.
right now, say it again.
They're gonna find a reason to fire him again.
Yeah, they will. But I mean, at least for now, the courts seem to be on the right side of things, which is scary, but also,
Mm.
good for now. We'll see. We'll
A
see what
little
happens.
ironic.
Yeah, look, ironic. That's the word I was looking for. It's ironic. It's ironic. Yeah. So, but right now they seem to be working in our favor, and it's a good thing that Biden did put in a lot of federal judges, and of course, we have some federal judges from from other former presidents that are standing up. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. If they get fired next week, we'll talk about it next week. But yeah. So the Office of Budget of Management and Budget, they are also responsible for a lot of the cuts that were happening in the federal government. Well, one of their employees that is actually responsible for sending out those emails telling people that y'all got 10 minutes to get your stuff and get the fuck out. She's also decided she wants to be an Instagram influencer, so she's been doing Instagram videos from her office.
Man, I
So
want to know what y'all hear. I want to know what y'all think about this, cause I don't know if I'm gonna agree, but let me hear what y'all think. Tell me what y'all think.
Striking again, CNN learning the education department is expected to begin sweeping layoffs tonight. The goal, we understand, is to cut about half of the 4,100 person workforce, so 50% cut for the DOE. It comes as a CNN investigation looks into a high-ranking employee at the Office of Personnel and Management, the agency that sent out the mass email asking federal workers to justify their jobs. That high-ranking employee has been filming influencer videos that promote what she's wearing on social media from inside her government office. Kyung La is out front.
It looks just like any other influencer video. A young woman posing in front of a camera over and over and over again, showing off her trendy but timeless professional fashion. But she's no ordinary influencer, and that's no ordinary office. Her name is McLaurin Pinover, and she's the Trump administration's new director of communications for the Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, which manages federal employees. All of these videos were shot in her government office, right here at OPM headquarters in Washington, D.C., ground zero for Trump's plan to cut thousands of workers from the federal government in the name of efficiency. Inside her office, Pinover captures video at her desk, putting on makeup, modeling new outfits to her 800 followers. Pinover markets clothes on her account. Using what's called affiliate links, she could get a portion of any item sold through her Instagram page, like this $475 skirt or $300 dress, but it's unclear whether she's made any money. On February 13th, the day 20 people on her communications team lost their jobs, she posted a moment for mixed patterns. And the week when her agency demanded all federal employees list 5 things they did that week, she posted the Businesswoman Special. As OPM spokeswoman, she defended the memo at the time as a commitment to an efficient and accountable federal workforce.
I would be very curious if she included her efforts to promote her brand as part of the 5 things that she accomplished that week.
Donald Sherman, the chief counsel for an ethics watchdog group, says more than anything, this behavior is insulting to the thousands of federal employees being fired.
This Trump administration appointee is violating the public trust at the same time as she seems to be instrumental in the administration's attack on civil servants.
And you just heard him there say she's a Trump official. She has only been on the job since January with the new administration. And some of this does appear to have happened on the clock. We were actually looking at her account this morning, Erin. She posted a couple of Instagram stories during normal business hours. You can also see the time on her watch in at least one of the videos she filmed, all during work hours. Now, about 15 minutes after CNN reached out to her requesting comment, her Instagram account was deleted. She declined to comment officially to CNN, but we did comment from former OPM workers who told us, quote, "Are you kidding me? That's my office." Another called it absurd and ridiculous to post fashion videos as people are being laid off. Erin?
It's incredible reporting. Kyung La, thank you very much.
About the lady,
Yes.
well, I know one thing for sure and 2 things for certain. I don't know if she's doing this on company time or government time.
Then she need to be fired.
She needs to be let go.
I think she was actually fired. I think
Oh, she was.
I'll double check on it, but I think she actually did get fired eventually.
Yeah, that's
As
like
a
the new
flame.
thing. Everybody want to be an influencer now. You have a powerful job and you want to be an influencer. Everybody want to be famous. They seen Trump do it. Now everybody want to be famous. Can't just be a businessman. You got to be a famous businessman. That don't make no damn sense.
I think my only problem with the influencer thing is that you firing people. You know what I'm saying? You're costing people their livelihood while you out here trying to do your side hustle at a government office. You know what I'm saying? This is like,
I'm not
it's in
mad
poor
at it.
taste. Yeah,
I
I
am
didn't think you
not
would be.
mad at it at all. Listen, first off, business, music, everything related to making money in the public eye. If you're an influencer, you're boosting whatever that is. Whether she wants to be an influencer or even if she was, let's say
She
she
wants
was
to be a
selling.
fashion model.
Yeah, but
She's
that's the
modeling
thing.
clothes.
So I'm saying, so let's say she was
Washington fashion.
Not Washington
she
Fashion.
wasn't good at it, but I'm with it. And then plus, all
Some
these
of the clothes
people
are
are
ugly
out of
too.
jobs. If she's doing her job efficiently, she got a lot of downtime. Why she can't model a little bit? Look, I just sent 69 niggas home last week. I just sent 70 people home by 9 o'clock. I'm on break. Let me show
Listen,
up my shoes.
I'm sure she has a lot of downtime because all she's doing is sending out an email talking about get your shit and go.
Right.
As long as she sent Elon that little email about what she did all week, I feel like she should be able to do as many videos
Oh
on
yeah.
Instagram as she wants.
200 people today.
That
And then I
chicken email.
slayed in these Jimmy Choos.
Exactly. You know, it's tacky. It's tasteless.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what I'm saying? Ain't the morality
And so I
police.
wish I would get fired by somebody and then see the same lady on Instagram when
I
when I'm
know.
on my way home.
Dog,
Man, I'm
I'll
And
be
the girl
trolling.
is dancing. Like, nigga, I'm turned around. Now somebody getting shot.
Hey
What we
yo, be
doing right
like,
now?
yo, go live right now. Go
Hey,
live
go
for this
live.
ass whooping. Exactly. Influence
Facts.
that.
By the influence my foot in your ass.
All right. And so yeah, that happened. Another thing happened this week. And I'm not gonna even attempt to pronounce his name, but he is a US citizen. He was a college student at Columbia University. He was detained by ICE because he was involved in protesting against the war in Gaza. Not against Palestine. He was protesting against the war in Gaza. That's why I had to finish my sentence. So he's been detained and they're trying to deport him. He's actually married to a U.S. citizen. He has a green card. He is an American citizen.
Yeah, and she 8 months pregnant.
Say it again.
She 8 months pregnant.
Wow. See, that part I didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Like, so this is why I have an issue with people talking about immigrants in negative ways. First of all, everybody, same
And
here. Everybody. Secondly,
freely or not.
you don't know how far they're going to take it, especially with
Mm,
them trying to overturn birthright citizenship. That's how
mhm.
we became citizens of this country.
Right.
So there are Haitians, there are Jamaicans that look just like us who were
Mm,
born here that they're going to try to deport. And how do we know we're going to get? I know I've also read there's there's been at least one or two
mhm.
black Americans that got caught up in this. So now they're using with him the protest thing like it's a crime, which that is actually our right to
Right.
protest.
Right.
But to be honest, like the fact that they're
They don't
just
like you.
changing the rules around how they're going to detain people and, you know, for whatever reason they trump up or whatever. And I use that intentionally. Like, this is scary for all of us.
Mhm.
They're not asking questions in a lot of in a lot of cases. They're taking you first and then you have to prove that they shouldn't have you. So it's a little wild in that aspect because at that point it's like, all right, we either it's on some Guantanamo Bay type shit. It's like you're in a black hole until they say otherwise.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Right.
only problem is now they ain't got a problem with free the right to free speech. They just got a problem with anybody who not originally from here or anybody that's not them with freedom of speech, and that's the messed up part.
But that's the thing. They're not even it's not even a you're not from here type of thing because if you fall under the category of doing something they don't want you doing, then they're just pretending you're not from here.
Yeah.
Right.
or pretending you're illegal, and then all right, y'all gotta figure that shit out later. But for now, you coming with us, nigga.
Yeah.
Mm,
Like they were grabbing Hispanics that were citizens.
yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. Yeah.
It's going too far. Right?
But so with the protest thing, it wasn't. I thought it was, and I could be wrong, but I thought it was not that they're protesting, but they're like they're adding details to it, like they're protesting like on school grounds when you shouldn't be, some
Right.
type of shit like that.
That's
And
the
then
place to protest. That's where most protests have taken place, is on a college or university campus. It's the young.
right,
Exactly.
but then I think that the way they're using it to be able to detain you is that they're saying, okay, this is private property or some shit.
Not if I'm paying money to go here. It's private to you, but it ain't to me.
I agree. I know. I'm not saying this is factual. I'm really just confused at it.
Yeah.
By it, by like the specifics of it, because it's a little crazy to me how they're running it. But I mean, like I said, it's not much logic to it anyway. If they're gonna do it, if they want to do it, and then they're gonna say, all right, well, y'all figure out the details later. But for now, like I said, hands behind your back, nigga, we out.
Yeah. So college protests have been going on since there have been colleges. You know, that's kind of
Yeah.
what college students do, but to use it as a tool. You
The
know.
deport, that's going too far.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. And again, it sucks because again, that could happen to any one of us. Any
Mm-hmm.
one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your head on the swivel. Keep your head on the swivel.
Can I just add to that, if you don't mind?
Mhm.
I know since Trump has been in office, he has been writing out these executive orders like he writing checks. But one thing, and Raquel, you had touched on birthright citizenship real quickly. You know, all of it is unconstitutional, whether you're a citizen or you're a non-citizen. Now, the work that I do, I got to offer voter registration to everybody, except if you're a non-citizen. And even with voter registration, the one thing that you're not asked for is a birth certificate. You either have a license, a state issued ID, or a social security number. One of those executive orders that was written by Trump that I guess it hasn't made it to the floor yet, is that they're going to require people to show their birth certificate to register to vote. That's unconstitutional, very unconstitutional. And I have a very big problem with that. So all of this with the detaining of individuals who, first of all, they're assuming what their status is in this country. You're also apparently you're not following the rules. Now, if I got to follow the rules in my job, you should be following the rules too, especially when you physically have someone in your custody. And you know, America is the spot to tear up families. We've been seeing it for years. So they, you know, the powers that may be, they don't really care about the impact that it's having on the American fabric. They are just either 9 times that's following orders so they don't lose their job. But it's all unconstitutional, and I just
It
wanted
is.
to put that on the record.
Yeah, which I mean, it kind of goes back to what we were saying before about the government shutdown. Like they're doing the thing and nobody's saying anything now. You know what I'm saying? We're all watching these things happen and nobody's saying anything. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing about the birth certificate, well, how many married women no longer carry their birth name, their birth
Exactly.
last name? So,
Yep.
that's the disenfranchised women who've got married and changed their last names. So
Listen,
it's not just immigrants.
but that's
You know?
why I kept my maiden name in my
Mhm.
married name, because somebody always trying to come for you. I
Wait,
that's it. So,
so you hyphenated your joint?
but
So it's
at work,
Dillinger? It's hyphen Dillinger?
Miss,
Come
I
on, man.
have
It's a
my
Dillinger.
husband's last name. I'm sorry.
Man, same character, B.
But I did when I got married, I did keep my maiden name. Something just told me to, if somebody was coming to look for me, like my family, because I had a lot of family that I hadn't met yet, then they could find me. But like you said, Raquel, married women, we're caught up in this too. Our children are caught up in it. We got to make sure that we keep in all of their
Yeah.
documents. Like, it's a lot. And the reason why they're trying to do that is so they can weed out who's supposed to be here and who's not. Well, I'm gonna tell you this: for those individuals that are here undocumented, they don't have any paperwork. Trust me, they're under the radar and they're not trying to be found out. All they're really trying to do, and 9 times out of 10, they have families here and they're working. They're paying taxes like we are,
That's right.
and they're just trying to stay out the way so they don't get caught up.
That's right.
So whatever they're trying to do is going to disenfranchise a lot more than just individuals who are immigrants. It's going to disenfranchise all of us.
Yep.
But
You got
know
it.
what I know.
You
May
got
we
it.
protect everybody that need to be protected. But I will say I'm still never gonna forgive them niggas that was on their stage talking about we will vote for Donald Trump. We will vote for Donald Trump. He
I think people going.
reported like 10,000 of them niggas immediately.
They wrote him a whole thing.
Them niggas was singing
They
onto the
threw
plane.
him away. It was great.
But we voted for Donald Trump.
He said he was only going to deport the illegals.
I'm never gonna forget them niggas, man.
You the illegal now because he just made you that way. All right, so we're gonna move on to the musky minute, and then we're gonna get into our relationship topic. So we're gonna get through this one. Tesla stock is down. America's mad at Elon Musk, as they should be. So stock's been dropping. They've been protesting. There's a website. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it actually shows where they're going to be a protest at a Tesla dealership. And yeah, the white folks is coming out. Black people stay home. This ain't our fight. Stay home.
Nah, this niggas was Texas. And it's ugly as shit.
They are.
Cars.
They are. No, I'm not saying this ain't our fight because black people don't drive Teslas. Because here, yes, they do. And yes, they are ugly. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna protest, do it from your couch, black folk, because the rules are not gonna apply the same way as they're applying to these white folk. You know, if they bust heads, it's gonna be your head they bust. Stay home, let them white folk do their thing. All right. But their stock is down. Their stock has dropped so much, and I believe Tesla's lost something like $148 million. Maybe, or was it $1 billion? I don't know. I'm trying to look that up. Because it's losing so much stock, so much money, Trump decided to give his benefactor a car show on the White House lawn. So he literally had written on a piece of paper like the sales points for the Tesla. You know, you can get a Tesla for $299 a month on the White House lawn. First,
last year's presidential campaign, Donald Trump promised to fight for working class Americans. His actions as president are not only doing the opposite for the working class, but he and his entourage seem focused on coming to the aid of the richest man in the world, Elon Musk. In a social media post overnight, President Trump called the recent protests of Musk's Teslas illegal and promised he would personally buy one today. He even had multiple Teslas delivered to the White House for him to view and effectively gave Musk free advertising from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Fox News anchor and Trump supporter Sean Hannity also vowing to purchase one. Trump's daughter-in-law, former RNC co-chair Laura Trump, is insisting that Americans ought to be kissing the feet of Elon Musk for what he is supposedly sacrificing to help this country. And even our country's top diplomat, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, took a very undiplomatic swipe at an ally, Poland, over the weekend in order to defend Musk and his company Starlink. The panel is back with me, Catherine Rampell, Eugene Daniels, and Tim O'Brien. Okay, so Trump has this private Tesla viewing at the White House, and then he comes out, I need to show it to you, with notes, as though he is a car salesman. Take a look at that. In the Sharpie, which is how you know it's real. Teslas can be purchased as low as $299 a month or $35K. All cars have self-driving, just needs to be turned on. I mean, what does it say that people are currently freaked out about their 401ks, freaked out about whether or not they can go to the grocery store and purchase eggs, that they're talking about cutting Social Security, which, yes, I see you yelling at me on Blue Sky. It is not an entitlement. You paid into it. That is why you are entitled to it. And instead, what he's choosing to spend his time doing is a car commercial for Tesla.
It's just bizarre. You know, I am old enough to remember when it was a scandal, that Ivanka Trump seemed to endorse a can of Goya beans, and that Kellyanne Conway, decided to endorse, in turn, Ivanka Trump's clothing line. But that was so 2017, 2018. Now, apparently, we don't care about these ethical conflicts anymore. And look, the reason why they are shilling for Elon Musk is obviously that not nobody, but sales have tanked for Teslas, and as has the stock price for Tesla, the company. And it's no mystery why, right? There's a reason why companies have historically tried to stay away from divisive culture war issues, because they are worried about alienating a certain segment of their customers. And sometimes they get it wrong, right? You saw the boycotts of Bud Light and Target and other places when Republicans were really mad about decisions that those companies had taken. Not only does Elon Musk, not avoid the culture wars, he is a, happy culture warrior. Yes. And, of course, he is helping dismantle the federal government.
Well, this violates the Hatch Act because you're not supposed to be selling anything through the government. So that's neither here nor there. And nobody's going to do anything about it. We keep
Right, who's going to check me?
Exactly. Everybody keep watching stuff happen. They don't care. They just let them do it. All right, so that's fine. So he did the car show, the Tesla car show. And he said he was going to buy a Tesla that day. He supposedly bought a Tesla. Donald Trump has not driven a car in over 50 years. Over 50 years. So it was hilarious.
75, 80. So he got a driver.
Nah, I was watching the stock that day, too. That shit went up like a good $3.
A whole $3?
A whopping $3.
You mean the maggots didn't come out and buy a whole bunch of Teslas? No, because the maggots can't afford Teslas.
Exactly.
That's the crazy part. Like, Trump spent like 5 years talking trash about electric cars. And now, so now you want to try to, help sell these Teslas that aren't even the best electric cars. That's the thing.
Right. Yeah, no, I still go back in my head to that video I saw that Cybertruck get stuck in that little Honda riding past in the snow. Like, all right, dog. Not about to pay no $40,000 for this big ass battery
Yes, it
to
looks
get
like
stuck in the snow.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they ride around here quite a bit. So Tesla's down, car show at the White House, Doug makes $8 million a day I'm talking about Musk. Still getting paid $8 million a day.
Yeah. So we still at some point we still gotta shut our broke asses up. Cause he good.
Facts. All right, that's the mainstream news is a joke and the Muskie Minute segment. We're gonna move into our topic for today, which is part one that we're gonna have in a series of relationships. Not my favorite topic to talk about, however, we're gonna talk about it. So Des and Renee been married for 13 years, been together for how long?
22.
Ooh, if you say the wrong look at her eyes. If you say the wrong number, she about to punch you.
21 and a half.
Well,
call it how you want.
21 years we've been together, but we've been married for the past 13 years.
So,
very profound question. Very profound. Starting up the hard hitting.
Well, one,
I could have said why, but how seems like a better question.
That's my next question.
Leave.
Yeah,
he didn't leave, so that's right there. Like that was, that didn't happen. So
yet, nigga. You talk about he did.
Well, I hope I have some more years on my life, but when you start living life and you decide that you're going to start living life with someone else, it definitely has its challenges, and you have your good days, you have your bad days. But for me, I think it was just a matter of wanting to keep my family together. Also wanting to be there for my husband. We both have had challenges while we've been together. Understanding and having compassion has definitely kept me in the game. Some days it's, it can be thin, but it's there. But also, too, I'll be honest with you, I can't really imagine my life not being married to him. I'm pretty sure that it would be a million and one things that I would be doing, but he allowed me to be a mother. We raised our children together. We have been able to that's the one thing that I think that we have been able to agree on all these years is, how we would raise our kids, how we wanted to raise our kids, and what we wanted to teach our children as well.
Now, we didn't always agree on the method or the way of doing things, but
no. But I also think that marriage for us, our relationship, has actually kept us honest, not with just each other, but with ourselves. I'm not saying you have to get married to be honest with yourself. I'm not saying that. But when you have someone else on the yoke with you, and you can't move the yoke by yourself, you gotta hope that the person next to you is able to take that step with you, so you both can survive in the yoke.
What's a yoke?
A yoke. It's what the oxen wear to carry the load.
Is that what that is?
Yeah,
When you crack the egg and then the
don't do it.
never mind. Never mind.
Different
I'm
kind of
playing.
yoke.
I'm playing. All right, wait. I got a question. It's the same question for both of you, but I'll start with Des. What have you learned, both of you? What have you learned about yourselves from having to do this 20-year bid with each other?
Why does it have to be a bid? Jeez.
Well, I done learned somewhat patience, understanding, forgiveness. I learned more. I mean, honestly, in my life, I can say since I've been an adult, 2 relationships in my life, in my adult life, and one lasted about a year. This one has been 23 years, so I don't know. Basically, we
changing the number.
Huh?
Oh, how long?
You keep changing the number.
Yeah, that's like this number is a wild number. 21, 23.
23. She don't know.
Thank you, chat. Renee, what have you learned about yourself since your bid seems to be a little bit longer than his because it's with him?
The one thing I've learned being married for this long, and especially to Desmond, and he's even told me, at first I was upset, but then I had to think about it because I know a lot of people, this is the one thing that they truly do look for in a mate. But he told me that I'm loyal to him. You don't hear that word a lot, because when you say the word loyal, some people may take it as a negative connotation, like you're a dog or you're a pet, and they're loyal to their master. But when you translate it into a relationship, whether you're married, y'all in a long-term relationship, or whatever, that is a characteristic of a relationship that helps the relationship go through the ups and downs. It's very easy to, stray away. It's very easy to go and be and do whatever, especially when, things may be in turmoil in your relationship. But we've had our, experiences, and the loyalty part really does, for I feel like, seals the deal, and it helps you to remember, like, hey, if you're not going to be loyal anymore, then maybe you just need to move along. And sometimes it's just easier to stay loyal to the one that you're with and that you love, rather than going out and just doing whatever, and you looking for love in all the wrong places.
All the drama that comes with that
Yeah,
foolishness.
you may come back with something you wasn't bargaining with. I gotta.
Right, that too.
Yes. And honestly,
Got a drone got to come out.
At a certain time, I ain't want to learn nobody new color. Their favorite color again. What's your favorite color? When you all that old bullshit question when I'm like, I ain't got time for that shit.
And I can see that too. That loyalty thing. I mean, I do hear that kind of being thrown around with like negative connotations these days. But like, it is important because I mean, I
Mostly in
can
the
see
gender
that.
war
Right,
conversation.
exactly. But I can see it being like a major factor for being able to get through a lot of the tumultuous times, like because there's a certain comfort in knowing that whatever is going on, like I'm not worried about you leaving me or me leaving you. Like we're locked in, so we're gonna figure this shit out. And so there's a lot you can deal with certain pressures differently when you know no
Mm.
matter what, I'm not about to cheat on you and I'm not about to leave you. Like I'm down for you. So I might be pissed the fuck off, but we gonna figure this shit out.
And yeah,
That
and that
makes
pissed
sense.
off shit happens a lot.
Yeah.
That pissed off shit happens more than a little bit, but it's like I know if something happened to me, I needed to call somebody. I can call her and say, "Hey, I need you to come get me. I done fucked up. I done did this." She gonna be mad and cuss me out and yell at me like she has done so many times before.
Mm-hmm.
But she's gonna always be there.
How many times?
How many times what?
Too many
How
times
many times?
to count. Too
Yeah,
many
yeah.
times to
We
count.
don't have that kind of time on this show.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So in a earlier episode, we talked about returning citizens, and Des and Jose were talking about how going back home and how that affected them and their families. But I'm curious, Renee, coming from you directly, what was your experience like when he returned home, and how was that adjustment for you and the kids?
Yeah. Yeah. When Desmond left, it was sad and it was sudden. He didn't get a chance to tell his children bye. And that broke me. That broke my heart. And to have to come home and, give that news to the kids, and they were young. That was probably one of the hardest times in my life, because not only was I trying to navigate through how I was feeling, but also trying to comfort the kids as well. Us having the constant contact while he was away helped me to welcome him home. It wasn't easy at first when he came home, because you know he was in a place that I can't even imagine the things that he was seeing, he heard, things he had to like kind of experience. So I wasn't sure, you know what I'm saying, what the dynamic was going to be in our relationship. It was just like a day-to-day process. It took some time for Desmond to like kind of come back into society and kind of, you know what I'm saying, get reintegrated. Because when you're away, I mean, he wasn't away for as long as some other people are, but when you're away from your family, your friends, the world, and you're only being given information by certain people, and you're not even getting all the information at that, when you're coming back home, it's things that you may have missed out on. It's things that, you may have developed some trust issues while you were inside, because it was just so much going on. So it was, things like that we like had to navigate. Now that I can look back at it and see how we came over that, I will say that all I wanted to be was a support system to Desmond. That's all I wanted to be. I wanted him to be able to come home and feel like, he could regain his life back. And whatever decisions that he decided to make, they would be decisions that would uplift him and his children and his community. That's all I was for, really. So, just getting used to just being with somebody who've been locked up. I don't think a lot of people really realize the ins and outs of being incarcerated. And the stresses that come along with that. Especially if you got kids, you got, a spouse, or maybe you have loved ones that you were caring for, or whatever. It can be difficult. So I would say that just being a support system, it wasn't hard to do. It was just, trying to gauge where he needed to support at in order for him to be successful, so he wouldn't go back. So that's that. But other than that, we made it. I can honestly say that. I mean, I ain't saying we made it like, oh, what I'm saying is that things could have ended in a very different way and it didn't. And I kind of feel like that because we worked together, with him coming home and, being honest about some things that really helped Desmond to be able to move forward with his life. So that's all for me, that's what it was. It just being a support for him.
So Renee, when you smoked that, when he came home, was he like weird with his food when people walk close, like real close to him? Like, did he growl or something? All right, never mind. That's fine. It's fine. I was just wondering, but it's fine. It's fine. We can move on.
I'll say this. He wasn't like, well, he's always weird with his food. So there's so it wasn't that. I think
cornbread.
man, because what did you eat when you came home? What did we get? Was it
Yeah,
McDonald's?
you brought me
Egg food,
Yeah,
yo.
I saw McDonald's, yeah. So,
Wow.
it was that.
Boy, you had a rough time when your first meal back is McDonald's. That
And
ain't
you
even
remember
food.
it? And you
Like,
remember it?
bruh,
Well, I remember like it was yesterday.
I just feel like
20
changing
piece,
the room
20
today.
piece McNugget and a Pepsi.
Craving next.
Yeah. But
And
it
you
was,
dessert.
I think it was, and I think this is something that we both didn't realize. So, like I said, when he went away, the kids were younger. I think it was what, 4, 5 years old. And, our youngest daughter is on the spectrum. So when she learned that her father was going away, actually she wanted to try to break him out. I'm like, sis, you can't do that. He gotta go. And she was like, well, when is he gonna be back? I said he should
Yeah,
be back
right.
here. Yeah. Yeah. She was really because she just couldn't wrap her little head around why her dad wasn't coming home. So when he did come home, because she hadn't seen him, like she talked to him on the phone. He wrote home all the time. He sent cards, he sent pictures, we sent him pictures, to keep that line of communication open. But what I did see was that the relationship between our youngest daughter and was kind of strained because for her, she needed that everyday engagement with her parents, but she wasn't getting that from one. So when he came home, she looked at him like, nigga, where you been at? And, they had to work through that. And I, had to kind of I tried to facilitate their relationship because she was the youngest and she hadn't been away from her father for as long as he was gone. So that was something that to me I felt like was different when he came home. Of course, time heals all wounds, and of course children mature as well. So their relationship, she always loves her father and her father loves her. They get on each other's nerves every now and again. And even with our older children, it was, if they had questions, they asked him because they just knew that, their dad was gone and they, just waited for him to come back home.
I thought that nigga was in college. They lied to me for months. Everybody lied to me for months. They told me that nigga was in college.
Oh, really?
Everybody lied to me.
About your
Yeah,
uncle?
listen.
Yes.
They should have been honest with you. And that's another thing I want to say. You know, with our kids, it's not the easiest subject matter to speak on, but these kids are a lot smarter than what we take them to be. They feel everything, they hear everything. Whether you are in another room speaking, they know something's going on. I couldn't lie to my kids. I had to be honest with them. Even when Desmond didn't feel like he should say something, still had to say something because I didn't want it to come out years later that I had lied about where their father was. That wasn't going to be me. That was not going to be me. So, and I also feel like too that it was a teaching moment as well as an opportunity to talk about some things. That's why we need to quit, pussyfooting around our kids when it comes to stuff that impacts our families, and we need to be honest because when we're not being honest with them, we're not being honest with ourselves.
Facts.
Makes sense.
I blame myself too, because I should have never believed
As you
that nigga was in
should.
college that long.
Mm.
Should have known something was up with it. Like, all right, it's been a long time. He's still in college, yo. It's been at least 2 months. He's still there learning shit.
Yeah. Well, that's actually some good information on how to maintain and struggle through a long-term relationship. So I think honestly, this actually was not my topic of choice. However, after listening to you guys, I am actually excited about doing part twos and the part threes and kind of digging deeper into different aspects of relationships.
You gonna start sharing? We gonna
No,
get some
but
insight into
I'm listening. I'm listening.
soaking
Listening
up game.
intently. But
Got room with another mic over there. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's some good information. Anything else you want to share about how to hang in there for these long-term relationships? Long-term relationships?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know. It seems like we grew up together, honestly.
You did.
Like, I've known her since I was 9. I know her majority of my life now.
Yeah, you did grow up together.
So it's
'Cause
like,
as much as you like to act like an old man, you're actually a young man.
All right, don't lie to them. Don't lie.
He's a younger man than he acts.
Oh, agree. But to be fair, his body is like an older man.
Yeah, you got the body of a 90-year-old, but with your brain and your face, you're still pretty. You're still pretty.
yeah, I'm thinking.
The cutie pie.
But yeah, that's really what it came down to. It's like we was growing up together. Like things that she was experiencing for the first time, I was experiencing for the first time. Not everything we did exactly together, but and we're still growing together. Like once we done this, we got some work to do. We trying to build. Now we still trying to build.
That's what's up.
We trying to build. I mean, and plus she's the brains of the operation. I'm just a pretty face.
I concur.
I agree as well. I don't think that was up for debate.
Nobody ever debated or asked
that.
a question or even thought
Never
to
had
ask
to
that
say it.
question.
Just
We all
waste the
assumed that
airtime
that's
on that
what it
one.
was.
We pretty much all agree with that one.
Pretty much.
Thanks, I guess.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna end this segment. We are gonna revisit this. So Renee, I hope you will join us again because I love your perspective on this, and I think I like the way Des actually comports himself when you are here. Also,
Well, thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Very insightful, Auntie.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna end this show with the "What's on Your Mind" segment. Des, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Building. I'm trying to build now, and that's what I'm dedicating my life to right now. Building and being more productive than I ever been before. I don't know which way it's going to end up. I don't know how it's going to go, but right now I'm trying to look forward and try to just build much as I can. While I got time.
What's up, Renee? You got something?
With you.
He said, "What?"
What's on my mind? I think what's on my mind right now is Department of Education. What is going to happen with this? I know teachers have been frustrated for a really long time, and the pandemic just blew a lot of things up and exposed our education system for some of the things that it's egregious for. So I'm interested in seeing, what the next steps are going to be. I know there's a lot of teacher unions that have attorneys that have been filing lawsuits against Department of Education and the federal government. I don't know if this is going to be the change that we actually need in our education system, but that's what's on my mind is Department of Education and where we go from here.
It makes sense because I suspect there are going to be a lot of changes real soon in that area since they're trying to get rid of people and the funding. So yeah. Izzl, you got something on your mind over there?
I 100% have something on my mind.
Of course you do.
So, as you all know, I was not present for last week's episode. I was doing a little celebrating of my birthday. However, I did happen to catch something very, very troubling in said episode. So I just want to address it directly on air. Des, why in the fuck would you champion Demi Moore against Angela Fine Ass Bassett?
Listen, I love it.
No, I'm not done. You had your moment. I'm not done. One of the most talented black women of your generation that we've seen as an actress. And not you didn't just pick somebody. You picked Demi Moore, bruh.
G.I. Jane.
Demi Moore.
Watch.
And then you couldn't even name like movies in the last 10 years that she was in that was great. You started naming shit from when I was like 3. Talking about she should have won a Grammy for that. Bruh, Angela Bassett been putting out hits for the last 25 years like nonstop.
True.
She was Black
True.
Panther mama, son.
No.
And I'm gonna go as far as saying she should have won one for Vampire in Brooklyn, nigga.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
All right, that was too far. That was too far. But
yeah, that's too far.
that was too far. Explain yourself now, dog. Because I am disgusted with you.
I stand by.
You stand by. You know what? Renee, you can lead this nigga.
For Demi Moore.
You can lead this nigga. Longevity is cool, but you can lead this nigga. It's okay to throw the cards in. I'd have been as loyal as you wanted to be, but in that moment,
Until now.
Divorce time, big dog.
Yeah.
It's over.
Man doesn't.
Demi Moore.
I said
He has nothing.
He has nothing. He can't explain it. He just wanted to be a little.
Can't even explain it.
I said what I said.
I've never been so ashamed of you.
Wow. Yeah, he got nothing.
It's petty.
Talking about I'm not pro-black, I'm pro-talent. That still means Angela Bassett, nigga. What the heck are you talking about?
He got nothing.
He got nothing.
He made classics. But so
She
did
made classics.
I chose
She
what I
made
chose.
classics. Angela Bassett is still making classics.
Yeah.
Actively making classics.
The me just made a classic.
What when she would
Actively making classics.
He just was up for announcement.
Plural. I said plural. Give me some
back
plurals.
right now. Oh, they're 911.
What are you talking about? I just said she was Black Panther mama. She was in all these other movies. Mad other movies. What are you talking about? Huh?
Hey, she's in 0 Day. She playing the president.
Oh, yep, that too. She the president, dog.
Yes, she is. Yep.
You over here talking about some damn strip tease.
Let's see what the next movie. Maybe I'm
Man, Auntie, what's on your mind?
Yo, so the first thing that's on my mind is actually I just found out that Tiana Taylor was dating Aaron Pierre, so I'm like, I'm strangely interested in that relationship for some reason. What? Rebel Ridge. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so they doing that thing. So that's one part. The other part is community. So I just feel like we really need to start thinking about our communities. And I'm not talking about in the general sense of, the black community this, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about we might need to literally come together and build a compound for all of us to live in, because it's dangerous out here, and I'm a little bit concerned about us, because some of us still walking around with our heads in the clouds and thinking things gonna work out all right. And the worst part of that is somebody in the world thinks that Demi Moore is better than Angela Bassett.
God,
it's scary.
Better than Tina motherfucking Turner, dog.
Scary. Better than Stella.
Yeah.
Better.
G.I. Jane.
You see.
All I can say about that is Wakanda forever, because I don't even know where we going.
Wakanda forever. Aaron Pierre. That's Mufasa.
Hey. Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, that's it for the show that almost wasn't. The Working People's Pod on out of the set.
As long as the core is here, the show must go on.
Man, watch your mouth. So, thank you for joining us for the Working People's Pod on the Out of the Podcast Network. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Also, download. Find us everywhere you get your podcasts. Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Amazon, everywhere. We also have a merch shop at outofthesandtrap.com. We have really nice, fancy t-shirts, hats, and hoodies, and joggers, and mugs, and all kinds of things. Please check us out. If you are one of our subscribers, we're going to start listing you at the end of our episodes and give you a little respect, and put a little respect on your name, too. So just to show our appreciation. And remember, the people closest to the pain should be closest to the power. So get your hand out my pocket. Peace.